Kevin, if you're breaking down, what's the number one thing the Patriots have to improve on from last week's loss? What is it?
Everything.
Everything.
I think that there's definitely specific points on both offense and defense, and we can get into them more in depth. But I think defensively, they got to figure out what they're going to do with the Saints RBs, because they really did a poor job with Kareem Hunt. In the run game, they basically went small, and we're playing four safeties in that game. So you're playing Dante Hightower as an outside linebacker, Kyle Van Noy is your middle linebacker, and then Jordan Richards was playing a lot as really a third linebacker there. So you're pretty small with Richards and Van Noy on the field. Van Noy is middle and Richards playing out on the outside there. So they got beat up in the run game in part because of that, but they also didn't really take advantage of going small in the passing game. Like the Chiefs still, I know the Chiefs had the big plays, but they still move the ball pretty effectively on like short passes over the middle. So it's not as though Richards helped them too much in that regard. So I think they've got to figure out exactly what personnel they want to go with at linebacker. That's the biggest question to me. I think that they got to contemplate maybe moving Hightower back to the middle against some teams, especially if their run defense is, I mean, he's a very good run defender, and the run defense I thought was pretty poor throughout that game. And
Dante Hightower obviously a little banged up with his knee. I mean, ideally he'd be back for Sunday's game, especially with the long time off after last Thursday. But I mean, the Patriots have to figure out a way to stop those backs. That to me is the biggest threat from the Saints.
Yeah.
Another threat that the Saints kind of propose that the Patriots have to focus on is their physical receivers. I think they're different kinds of receivers that than what the Patriots faced last week in Tyreek Hill. Michael Thomas he's fast, but he's really strong, and Belichick really praised him as a physical guy this week.
Yeah, you'd imagine that Stephon Gilmore will be the guy to draw that assignment. And you know, the thing with New Orleans, and we'll probably talk more about this tomorrow when we do a specific game preview, but New Orleans didn't really replace Brandon Cooks. So outside of Tom, and they signed Ted Ginn, who's just been a whatever receiver, primarily a return guy, very fast, but hasn't really been much of a receiver throughout his career. I don't know if New Orleans has the same kind of firepower that they've had in recent years, so we'll see how the season develops, but I don't know if that's a team that just has the offensive personnel to put up the number of points that they've put up in past seasons. So I think defensively for the Pats, it's going to be doing a good job against the running backs and then limiting the disastrous big plays that happened against Kansas City. Like you can't play, they were, I believe, trying to play like a bend but don't break defense in that game. You can't play that defense and also give up a 75-yard and 78-yard touchdown. You're just never going to win a game when that happens. So it goes without saying, but some of the communication issues that happened in the secondary, like on that Hill TD where Gilmore and McCourty clearly weren't on the same page, you can't have that stuff happening in a road game week 2.
Which have one of the best defenses in the league versus the Saints, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. This seems like a good time for the offense to get back on track.
Yeah, I think that if the Patriots offense struggles in this game, I'd be kind of alarmed and concerned, because you guys all watched Monday night against the Vikings, and Sam Bradford looked like Fran Tarkenton, and Adam Thielen looked like Chris Carter. Like, it was just, the Vikings looked amazing against that Saints defense. It's a team that's playing 2 rookies in the secondary, Marcus Lattimore, the corner, and Marcus Williams, free safety. They also got a rookie linebacker, Alex Anzalone, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so they're young. As Belichick said today, they're probably faster than they were in past years, but they're very young, and it just didn't look like an effective defense to me. So the Patriots have got to do a better job of, I think, having plays that aren't so boom or bust. Like I've really, since the Edelman injury happened, I've really preached about they're going to go more vertical this year, and I believe they will, but you can't solely go vertical. Like they need more over the middle. I think they got Cooks running on one drag route over the middle against the Chiefs, and was pretty open, and he picked up 15 yards on the play, a lot of yards after catch. They need to do more stuff like that. I know Kansas City clogged the middle, and they did a good job on Chris Hogan specifically. Whenever he tried to run a route over the middle, they had a linebacker right there basically double teaming him. So the Pats, like if the Saints do something similar, they need Hogan and Cooks to give them something on the outside, which they really didn't as possession receivers. Everything was either all or nothing. So that's not a sustainable way to play offense in the NFL. You can't just heave the ball downfield 15 times and you're going to have one 54-yard catch. You'll have a PI flag every once in a while. But they need Cooks and Hogan to be able to give them 8, 10-yard catches where they can set themselves up in favorable second downs, where they can get first downs on third. Cooks, as the big plays he had, he dropped 2 at the sticks. Were contested catches that maybe you don't term drops, but they're plays that you almost have to make, and Hogan really gave them nothing. So I think those guys need to be better, and Gronkowski needs to give them something more too. They just need a little bit more diversity in their offense.
Yeah, I mean